Welcome back to more Sip2Tally. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and today we're going to bring you our number 31 team, the Washington Commanders. Yes, that team in the nation's capital, the Washington Commanders. Now, we all know they're going through some change. They got a new coach. They recently hired the defensive coordinator from the Dallas Cowboys, and you're going to see a huge influence by them doing so when we get to the personnel of the team. But the number 31 team on our list is the Washington Commanders. And let's go ahead and get this kicked off by talking about their quarterback room. Now, starting with their quarterback room, I have their quarterback room ranked number 29. Now, in said quarterback room, probably going to be the starter, if not at the beginning of the year, at some point throughout this year, is quarterback from LSU, Jaden Daniels. Don't really have any stats to give you because he's a rookie from LSU. Heisman Trophy winner. Probably the closest Lamar Jackson-like that you're going to get in a while. A very good thrower of the football. Very fast, very shifty. Took a lot of big hits in college, something Lamar didn't do or still does not do. So he has to improve on that, or he won't be playing in the NFL very long. But at some point, if not from the very jump, Jaden Daniels is probably going to be the quarterback for the Washington Commanders. His backup, Marcus Mariota, who played for Philadelphia last year, played in 3 games. He was 15 for 23, 164 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then bagging up Mariota, the third quarterback, is Jeff Driscoll. Had 1 game, 13 for 26, 166 yards, 2 TDs, and 2 interceptions. And the emergency quarterback is probably going to be Sam Hartman, rookie from Notre Dame, who had a bunch of numbers at NC State before he transferred to Notre Dame for his senior season. I think he was at NC State before he went to Notre Dame, but that's the Washington. Those numbers came while he was at Wake Forest, not NC State. Wake Forest, not NC State. Mistake on my part, but now I'm correcting it. Commanders quarterback room, and I have that room ranked number 29, and you have 2 rookies in that room and a journeyman, Marcus Mariota and Jeff Driscoll. Let's go into their running back room. Running back room is undergoing a little bit of change, but they brought in, well, I have that room ranked number 19. That running back room number 19. In that room, Austin Ekeler. That's the new face in the room. And with the Chargers last year, he had played 14 games, 179 rushes, 626 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3.5 yards per rush. But also, what Austin Ekeler brings to your team, he catches the ball out the backfield. 51 catches, 436 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, with Austin Ekeler, as good as he is running the ball and catching it, he will lay it down. And he's older in age, but to go with Austin Ekeler, and Austin probably is not going to be the starter. Brian's going to be the starter, but I got Austin listed first because of his longevity in the league. But Brian is probably going to be the starter. Brian Robinson Jr. played in 15 games for the Commanders last year, 733 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he also can catch the ball at the backfield. Also had 36 catches, 368 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now, backing those 2 guys up is Chris Rodriguez, 13 games, 274 yards rushing, and 2 catches for 12 yards. And then Jerry McNichols, a rookie from Boise State, will be the 4th guy in that room and probably will be like the emergency guy in case one of the top 3 guys goes down. Moving on to their wide receiver room. I got their wide receiver room ranked 28. 28 with some promise though. Now, they had a lot of yards last year. They got a lot of yards last year, but they also had a lot of interceptions because they were down in just about every game, and their quarterback threw for a bunch of yards, but also had a bunch of turnovers. But their number 1 guy, Scary Terry McLaurin, 17 games, 79 catches for 1,000 yards, 12.7 yards per catch, 4 TDs. Jahan Dotson's also played 17 games for 513 yards and had 4 TDs. Throwing another guy in that mix, Christian McCaffrey's little brother, Luke McCaffrey. He's a rookie from Rice. He's going to be thrown in that mix. He's going to battle for the number 3 spot with a few names that I'm about to throw out to you. The guys that he's going to battle for that number 3 spot. De'Ami Brown from North Carolina. He played 17 games last year. Only had 12 catches, 168 yards, and 1 TD. Zacchaeus, I can't pronounce his first name, that played with the Eagles last year. He played in 17 games, had 10 catches and 2 touchdowns. And then Jamison Crowder is another guy that's going to be battling for that number 3 spot with him also. He had 16 catches with 1 touchdown for 159 yards also. I have their wide receiver room ranked 28. McLaurin's a dog. Jahan Dotson is trending upward. But those other names I named off, they're going to fight for that 3rd spot. And I wouldn't be surprised if it be McCaffrey and Brown to come out of that room as the 3 and 4 receiver. And those other guys kind of fall by the wayside. Don't be surprised if Luke takes that number 3 spot. Luke is one of the guys in the draft that I wasn't proud. I wasn't ashamed to say that I really, really, really like. He was one of the guys that I like. All right, let's keep it going. Their tight end room. Have their tight end room ranked 26. They got the aging Zach Ertz from the Cards. Last year with the Cardinals, he had played in 7 games, only had 27 catches for 187 yards, 1 TD. I think that's right. Yeah, 1 TD. Behind him, Ben Snott, a rookie from Kansas State. I'm sorry. I hope I pronounced his last name right. And then John Bates is the 3rd tight end. Had 19 catches for 7.9 yards per catch, 151 yards last year. Tight end room probably would be lower if it wasn't for the longevity of Zach Ertz. But Ertz is prone to a few injuries. But I'm giving Ertz the benefit of the doubt because of what he can do. And now that I'm sitting here saying that, they probably should be lower, but I just know what Zach could be, what he was, and what he potentially maybe has one more push in the tank. Let's keep it going. Let's go to O-line. Now, I really like their O-line room. I really do like their O-line room. And keep in mind, when I'm doing this, I'm doing it based off what they've done in the past, the scheme of the new personnel, and what I think they're going to do this upcoming year. So I have their O-line room ranked 12th. And this is what I think, the guys that they're going to be. All right, left tackle for them is either going to be the rookie, Brandon Coleman from TCU, or Cornelius Lucas. So I'm not really sure where they're going to go with that. So that's why I got both of those guys listed. But a guy I really, really, really like. Let me stop my watch from beeping. 1 second. A guy I really, really, really like, and it comes off of an amazing playoff game versus the Baltimore Ravens, Nick Allegretti. They picked up Nick Allegretti from the Chiefs. They also got Tyler Biadasz as their center from the Cowboys. Sam Cosmi is their best offensive lineman. He plays right guard. And then they got Andrew Wiley also. So with the addition of Allegretti and Biadasz, and depending on how they play Coleman and Lucas, I think they're going to be a lot better than they were up front. Because if I'm not mistaken, they led the league in sacks given up last year. And so this will be 3 new guys to secure their offensive line. And I really like the additions of what they did. And, whoever they decide to play at that other tackle spot, I think they're going to be better than what they were last year. I'm super impressed with Allegretti. And Biadasz is an upgrade at center. Cosmi is solid. Despite what you think about PFF, he graded out at 80%, or 80.6% on PFF, and Wiley's solid also. So their O-line room is I have them ranked 12th. Moving on to the other side of the ball. Let's go to the dark side for the Washington Commanders. Now, this is where some of y'all probably going to disagree with me at. Their defensive line edge group. Now, they're a 4-3 defensive line group, so they're doing 4 guys. Whereas yesterday when we did the team we did, they were a 3-4 group. And so we did 5 guys. So for their 4 guys up front, we're going to do 2 edge guys, 2 defensive tackles. Now, they have Dante Fowler that they picked up from the Cowboys. And remember, I started this saying they're going to be Cowboy heavy with guys coming in. Dante Fowler played 17 games for the Cowboys, 13 tackles, 5 TFLs, 4 sacks, 7 QB hits. Deron Payne, we know what Deron Payne used to be. What he used to be. 17 tackles, 17 games, 53 tackles, 13 TFLs, 4 sacks, 11 QB hits. Jonathan Allen, we know what he is. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, that combo together should be dominant. Those two guys together, nobody should run anything from B gap to B gap. Never. Should never. But they did. Jonathan Allen played in 16 games, also hit 53 tackles, 10 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, and 19 QB hits. And then on the other edge, they had Dorrance Armstrong, who played for the Cowboys. 17 games, 38 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, 12 QB hits. So you see the Cowboy influence that's coming in. And remember, their new head coach was the DC for the Cowboys last year. A backup worth mentioning for them, they drafted a rookie Johnny Newton from Illinois. And so I just wanted to mention him. He'll be in the mix somewhere. And I didn't give you the number for them on purpose because I have this group last as a defensive line edge group. Because I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Boondock series and this guy called Remy. He was Samuel L. Jackson. And they said there are some known knowns and there are some known unknowns. I think this D-line edge group are some known unknowns. And that's why I have them ranked number 32. Because as good as Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen are individually, I don't see them doing what they should do up front. They should dominate every offensive line, interior offensive line put in front of them. They should. Those two guys individually should dominate every guard, center, guard combination put in front of them. Should. But you take Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong and put them on the edge. I don't know if I really like them cats. Like they Cowboy rejects. But I will say this in Armstrong and Fowler's, defense. They play behind D-Law and Michael. I will say that. They play behind D-Law and Michael, and both of those guys are pretty damn good. All right, but I don't want to stay too long right here. Let's move on. Let's swim, move, and move on to the next group. Linebacker group. I think this is their best group on the team. I think their linebacker group is the best group on the team. They got 2 new guys in this group. First being Bobby Wags. B-Wag is in this group. Went back to Seattle last year after a year with the Rams. Had another great year, man. This dude, he just, as old as he is, he just keep on going. Played 17 games, 183 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 11 TFLs, 3 passes defended. He was second team All-Pro and made the Pro Bowl at 900 years old. The guy that played for the Commanders last year, Jamin Davis, only played in 13 games, had 89 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 passes defended, interception, and 2 forced fumbles. And they added Frankie Louie from Carolina Panthers. From Carolina Panthers. He played in 17 games, 125 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 5 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, and 10 TFLs. I really liked Louie last year. As a matter of fact, there's a video on this channel from last year because I was really impressed with how Louie played with the Panthers. So if you want to dig through that and check that out, you see what Louie brought to the table then. But I really think this is their best group on the team. And I have this linebacker group ranked 3rd. 1, 2, 3. This is how much I really like this group as a whole. Now, this is 3 guys in this group now. And keep in mind, there's some groups that are going to be 2. If you're a 3-4 team, there's only going to be 2 guys in your linebacker group. But a 4-3 team, there's going to be 3. I worked it out. Just stay with me. I worked it out. If 3 versus 2, I got it worked out. Don't stress. Don't stress. Just because you got an extra guy in your group, that's not going to give you an advantage over the team that only got 2. Trust me. I got it. I got it. Took me a month to get this stuff together. I got it. All right. Let's go on to the cornerback room. Cornerback room I have ranked 30th. And in that cornerback room, Emmanuel Forbes will be in his 2nd year, 14 games. He has a 65%. Spitting everywhere. He have a 65% reception percentage, and I explained what reception percentage meant yesterday, and I'll do it one more time for the people that missed yesterday. Reception percentage is the percentage of receptions you gave up. And just to break it down again, so if you have a 80% reception percentage, if they threw the ball at you 10 times, that means the receiver caught it 8 times. That's what that means. But to keep on with Emmanuel Forbes, he had 9 PBUs and gave up 3 penalties. The second cornerback in this mix is Benjamin St. Juste. Played 16 games. He had a 68% reception percentage with 67 tackles, 13 PBUs, but he also had 11 penalties. And then the third guy in this group is Michael Davis. And Michael Davis has played with the Chargers for forever. He played in 17 games last year with 62 tackles, a 65.6% reception percentage, 7 PBUs and 7 penalties. And this group is 30th. And then their safety group, Jeremy Chin, who also played with the Panthers last year. They got 2 guys from the Panthers that they brought in on the defensive side. 12 games, 30 tackles, 2 TFLs, 1 sack, and 82.4% reception percentage. That's not good. Not good at all. But he's going to be around the box, and he do things around the box that really helps out. In the pass game, not that good, but he's kind of around the box and helping out and doing things like that. Chin's really an enforcer. He had 2 PBUs, and then they got Percy Butler also, 15 games, 64 tackles, 2 TFLs, and he had a 56% reception percentage and 6 PBUs. So that all those numbers put together, let's see what they got. I'll run it back to you. So starting from the top, their quarterback room is ranked 29th. Their running back room is ranked 19th. Wide receiver 28, tight end room 26, O-line room 12th, defensive line edge room group 32nd, linebacker room 3rd, which is the best on the team, cornerback room 30th, safety room ranked 28th, which puts them the 31st ranked team on the list, and all those numbers come out to be 23 even. So that's why they're the 31st ranked team on the more Sip2Tally power rankings. And I really want to hit on the guys they drafted real quick, and we'll get up out of here. In the first round, they drafted Jaden Daniels from LSU. Second round, Johnny Newton from Illinois. Mike Saranstiel, the DB from Michigan, who's probably going to crack that DB room. I didn't mention him because he's a rookie, but he's probably going to crack that DB room. Ben Sinnott, who we mentioned with the tight ends. Brandon Coleman, who's potentially going to start at left tackle. Luke McCaffrey, who's probably going to crack that wide receiver room. He's probably going to be that third receiver also. They drafted him in the 3rd round. Johnny McGee, a linebacker in the 5th round. Dominique Hampton, a cornerback in the 5th round. And then Javonte Jean-Baptiste, a D lineman in the 7th round. So that's team number 31, the Washington Commanders. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for team number 30. Tomorrow will be Friday. That'll be June the 14th. So make sure you tune in for the 3rd episode. And I appreciate you guys for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. And we'll see you tomorrow for team number 30. Peace and love, man.